Hello everyone. Welcome again to the course of Composition 2. Today, we are going to talk about what we should do before we start writing. In this video, I'm going to share with you some very important and extremely practical tips that will help you in your pre-writing stage. There are basically 3 steps that you need to follow before you start writing. First, you need to read the assignment very carefully and determine the keywords. Second, you need to use these keywords to formulate a thesis statement. And lastly, you need to formulate or design an outline for the whole essay. In what follows, we are going to concentrate on 2 main steps. The first one, I'm going to help you to formulate your thesis statement. Second, I'm going to show you how you can design the outline of your essay. First, let's start by defining what a thesis statement is. A thesis statement is the heart of the essay. It is the most important sentence in the whole essay because it captures the main idea of the essay. A thesis statement is usually placed towards the introduction. A thesis statement of an argumentative essay implicitly presents the opinion of the author towards a controversial issue. That is to say, the thesis statements indirectly states your opinion about the topic of the essay, and hence it does not state a fact, nor does it state a neutral position. Let's do the following exercise. Read the topic question and decide which of these 5 sentences can serve as a thesis statement. After careful examination of these 5 sentences, we find out that number 1 is not a good thesis statement because it contains a keyword that is not mentioned in the topic question. Also, number 3 is not a good thesis statement because it is neutral. It expresses a fact, not an opinion. Number 4 is not a good thesis statement because it states the 2 sides of the arguments equally. Now, how can I develop my thesis statement? In order to develop your thesis statement, there are several steps that you need to follow. First, you need to read the topic of the assignment very carefully and be able to identify the 2 sides of the argument. You need to identify the 2 opposing opinions that are triggered by the topic or question. Consider the following topic. Should high school English language teachers use Arabic in the classroom? Upon studying this topic, it will become apparent that there are 2 main controversial opinions. Some students will say yes, others will say no. Then, after defining the controversy of the opinion, you decide which one you're going to support and then express it in a well-articulated sentence using the expression "I think that." The result will become like this. I think that Moroccan high school English language teachers should not use Arabic in their classrooms. Or, I think that Moroccan high school English language teachers should use Arabic in the classroom. Then, you can think about ways of improving the sentence by making it longer and richer. The result could be something like this. I think that, despite what most students think, Moroccan high school English language teachers should use Arabic in the classroom. Or, despite what most students think, Moroccan high school English language teachers should not use Arabic in the classroom. You can also use a different phrasing and say, I think that there are many reasons why Moroccan high school English language teachers should not use Arabic in the classroom. The last step, after you are satisfied with the sentence that you have written, is to remove the I think that phrase from the sentence because a good thesis statement is an implicit opinion, not an explicit one. So we need to remove the expression of opinion from the sentence. When you finish, you have to revise your thesis statement and check that it is a well-articulated sentence that is free from any language problems. You should also make sure that it expresses one side of the argument and that it captures the main idea of the whole essay. In the end, I'd like to share with you a very useful tip. Always think of a thesis statement as a "this is" statement that states, this is what I'm going to talk about in the essay. So, a thesis statement is a "this is" statement. In the second part of this video, I'm going to share with you how we can design an outline for the essay. If you look at the following example, you will notice that an outline is a way of planning the structure of your argumentative essay before you start writing. It consists of short and concise sentences that capture the gist of your introduction, body paragraphs, and conclusion. An outline, as shown in this picture, presents an overview of the thesis statement, the main arguments and supporting ideas, as well as illustrations, examples, and details of the body paragraphs. It's usually brief and straightforward. An outline helps you determine the extent to which your ideas are well organized and enables you to construct your line of thought as you read through it. It also gives you the opportunity to see how your ideas are linked to your thesis statements and decide whether the main arguments and supporting arguments are actually relevant to the thesis statement or not. You always need to start your outline by writing a thesis statement in the introduction, because it is the most important sentence of the introduction. Then you write the topic sentence of the first paragraph, which includes the first main argument that supports the thesis statement. Then you have to write the first supporting argument that supports the topic sentence of this paragraph and follow it with examples that illustrate the argument. Then write the second supporting argument for the topic sentence and then provide an example or a detailed explanation. You do the same for the second and the third paragraph. You may have noticed that the third paragraph of the essay includes more arguments than the first and second paragraphs. There is a reason behind that. The reason for this is that you always leave the strongest arguments till the last paragraph. If you see that you have 4 arguments in your first paragraph and that your last paragraph includes only 2, you may think about exchanging and shifting these paragraphs, then replace the last one by the first. You always leave your paragraph with the most arguments till the end, of course, before the conclusion. More exercises for practice can be found in the website. In our next video, I'm going to show you how you can write your introduction. See you then.